I just know that income disparity is a real issue. Income disparity is a real issue. The top are taking way more than I believe they should, and leaving not enough for the rest of us, not paying their employees and us, feeling like there's this problem in our society where they feel like the fear of not being able to make enough is what will keep people working. And I think we're starting to find out that people are just done. They just, if they're gonna have to struggle, why try? They're gonna have to struggle so much, why try? And I think that's starting to trickle down into students as well. We're, as a collective, as a society, students don't work that hard. Like, nobody works that hard anymore because the society knows that it's not worth it. That's why people are not working hard as they could be and being ambitious as they could be. It's like, I believe it's all mixed together. It goes back to what I was saying about just, before as well, with the ambition of art students and just people in general. But so I expanded this concept to not just the owner or the CEO and the lowest paid, but like the top 10 or 20% of the company can't make X more than the lowest 10% or 20% of the company. So it spreads it out because, not every single person in the top 10% or 20% of the company is being paid through stock options. There are people that are still want that $100,000 check, that $200,000, $500,000 a year that they make taxed income on. And so as long as that collective of people in those corporations don't make X more than the lowest, then that's when we start to get our income disparity gap closed. It's like, sure, if you want to make 500,000 this year and then 600,000 next year, then you got to raise up the lowest part too. You have to say, well, this $40,000 employee will make 80,000 next year. It's like, so just keep that shift going up if you all want to make more money. So that's what I think is one possible solution. Again, I'm not going to say that I'm a business scholar in any way whatsoever, but just optically, just intention wise, that's what I'm talking about. And maybe there's, other ways to look at more than just, salary. Maybe it's end of year, like anything related to the corporation. So what you would make off stock options, like maybe there's a way to say like, okay, since you were offered X amount of stocks, that means X, and that means you need to now pay the lowest paid employee X, so maybe there's other ways to look at it. And then somebody mentioned like, oh, that's fascist, it's like, well, I'm not telling them they have to do it because it's a authoritarian viewpoint. I'm saying like, we do the legislative process. What, as a society, the problem right now is we're forgetting what society means. We are forgetting that society means as a general consensus, as a collective, we agree on certain ways things will work and things will do. And if we don't follow those ways, then there's repercussions. And right now, there's too many people with power just blatantly ignoring these societal rules. And it's throwing everything out of whack because, unfortunately, the people with money and power have influence. And so it's causing everybody to ignore these kind of concepts and ideas. But the idea would be, as a society, we do the legislative process. We do this agreeing upon, if you're a corporation in America, this is what it means. This is what you have to pay taxes. You have to do certain things. Your billings have to abide by certain codes and, regulations. There are already plenty of regulations, which I believe is an important part of society, is having things regulated. And so we would say, if you pay your pay scale is such, then that means everything shifts up. And that's the agreement that you make as a corporation that runs in America. It's nothing to do with fascism. It's nothing to do with forcing anybody to do anything they don't want. It's, we agree, we vote, we make concessions, we have ideas, and we vote on it, and that's what we agree. But like I said, right now in our society, people are just ignoring those agreements, and unfortunately, with money, they can get away with ignoring the agreements. And that's what happens. That's why we have the president we have, because he's ignored the agreements of the society, and he's causing problems.